Today we're going to make something that a viewer suggested and you guys actually voted on, and it's called the Planemate. I've never really heard of the Planemate before. It's this device that has like a bungee that you can attach to your club and a belt that helps you get on plane and to feel how the swing is supposed to be through impact. I don't really know how well it's going to work. I have some of my own doubts, especially since when I went to the Tour Striker website, all I found was the bungees for it. It doesn't look like they're selling it anymore, at least this morning when I looked. So I have my doubts that it's like a good product, but I'm gonna make it because you guys suggested it. We're also going to do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. It seemed like only like 3 weeks ago that I was doing a 100 subscriber giveaway. And so stay tuned for that and let's get into it. So the Plane Striker is like a belt. I'm not gonna make a belt. I'm gonna make something to clip to our belt loops because I feel like that's gonna be an easier thing to do. The things that we need is, the first thing is something to clip to our golf club. I have this C-clamp style clip. This is actually made for cameras. It has some holes up top. I'll link this in the description below. But what this does is it allows us to attach to the club without any abrasiveness. There's these rubber coating on it. It's actually quite a nice clip. I wish it was a little bit smaller, but this is what I had in the time allotted that I had to find. I did a lot of research on clips and this is the best option that I had. I also tried these tarp clips. These are called turtle clips. I actually even modified it a little bit. I thought this was gonna be the key. It is not. It was not very strong, and that's why I went to these other clips. Again, linked in the description below. We're also gonna need some carabiners, and so I have 2 of these style carabiners right here. These are 1/4 inch by 2 3/8 link. It has a 160-pound work limit. You don't really, I was just looking for the size of this. I got this from Home Depot. These were really cheap. I think they were like $1.68 or $2 or something like that. And then I also got a couple of these S-style clips right here. These are meant for keychains. They're in the same aisle as the carabiners. These only have a 10-pound weight rating. I think that's plenty. They're these S-binder clips. Like I said, they are made for keychains and stuff like that. This is what we're gonna clip on our belt loop. I also have that rope that we used in our previous video of the 5 things you should DIY instead of buy. Go ahead and check out that video right here, but we use this to make a swing tempo trainer, and I got lots of it, so I'm gonna use that. I also have this adjustable bungee because for the Planemate we needed a bungee. I thought an adjustable one would be really cool. It is super cool. It's actually super strong at the lowest and it's really quick to adjust it to the longest. But again, I just got it from Home Depot. Super cheap. I think it was like $6 for a pack of 2. And then the last thing we're gonna need is some PEX tubing. This is what we're gonna slide our carabiner across. This is gonna be the alternative for the belt. And so let's get into it and make this thing. It's actually really simple. So the first thing I gotta do is, I don't need this long of PEX tubing, so I'm just gonna measure out how long I need it. I made a prototype already. I didn't measure this, I just kind of put it off to my side and see how long I needed it. I'm gonna measure it now for you guys. And this is about 10.5, 11 inches. I think that's not as big of a deal, so I am going just to mark this about 10 inches long, and I'm gonna cut it. And there's special PEX cutting scissors. I'm just gonna use a regular pipe cutter. This is for copper pipes, but I used it before and it worked perfectly fine. And all you do is you just line it up with the mark that you made, tighten it down until it's kind of somewhat snug, and you just wrap it around, tighten, wrap it around, tighten, wrap it around. I have some PVC PEX cutters somewhere, but my garage is still a mess. One of you commented on how messy my garage was, and you're like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm somewhat ashamed of myself, but I also know that I have 4 kids and a full-time job, and I'm trying to do this at the same time. I don't have time to clean my garage all the time. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna shove this rope through this tube. The next step, I'm gonna make a kind of cleaner cut on this so I don't have much fray. And then I'm just gonna shove this rope in here, just kind of twist it in. Since I have to cut it, I'm gonna actually electrical tape this end so it will fit in that tube a little bit better. Not a lot, because the tube is, this rope is like really close to being the same size as this tube. Shove it in there and twist it in there until it goes all the way through. This might take a while. This is like the hardest part of this build, I think, is having the patience to get this rope all the way through this tube. Okay, we finally got it through. All right, that took a lot longer than I wanted to, so let's move on. Now that we have it through our tube, we don't need as much as the rope as there is, but we're gonna tie off a knot on this side first. Before I tie off that knot though, I'm gonna put that tiny little carabiner through. It's easier to do it before you do the knot because it's hard to shove it in there after the knot is made. And then I'm just gonna make a knot around it. So I'm gonna pull some of this rope out so I have some room to make a little knot. And I'm just doing an overhand knot that was plenty strong. I'm just gonna try to make that as tight as possible. Now you have a clip and a knot on one side. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this as much as I can. We're gonna kind of bend it even a little bit because it's gonna go around our waist. And then I'm going to make a cut like this. Doesn't really matter where it is as long as you can make a knot on the other end. And then I'm gonna put that other carabiner through, and then I'm gonna make another overhand knot. And I'm gonna try to make the knot as close to the edge as possible. It doesn't really matter if it's right on it. I just want it as close as possible. All right, so that was a little bit more difficult than last time because I didn't have a lot of length on this side. So when you cut that second one, just make sure you have enough room to actually do a good knot. So all we're gonna do now is this PEX tubing, which is usually made for like indoor water piping, is really easy to bend. And so I'm just gonna make it, give it a little bit of a radius just like that. And now this is done. This is gonna go on our belt loops and we're just gonna do that here in a second. The other thing that we have to do is one of the carabiners, and the other reason why I chose one of these style clips because it has drilled holes and threaded holes for camera equipment. We're gonna have to put one of the carabiners through one of those holes. I chose this one right here. I kind of had to pound it in with a hammer. It's stuck in there. That's why I'm not showing you guys how to do it, but now this is done. And then the last thing we need to do is put it all together. And it's really easy. We're gonna put this carabiner through this hole. And so it goes onto the tube and this slides on this tube really nicely. And then this will kind of clips in really, listen to this, watch this, really nicely into there. And then this side will go on this side and clip into there. So now we have a completed Planemate and we're gonna go try it out. So before we dive into my thoughts on this DIY Planemate, I do want to say thank you to you guys. Last week I reached 1,000 subscribers and it felt like only 3 weeks ago because it was that I was doing a 100 subscriber giveaway, and now I want to say thank you to you guys by doing another giveaway. And I know that I pride myself on doing all these DIY projects, but I also know that some of you cannot DIY them because of time constraints, because of monetary issues. So I'm going to give away some of my favorite training aids. One of them is the Swing Tempo Trainer. I'm going to purchase that off of Amazon. I am also going to give away with that Swing Tempo Trainer a smart ball and some impact stickers. So that's going to be a package of the smart ball, the impact stickers, and the Swing Tempo Trainer, the rope style. So if you do want to get in on that giveaway, it's really simple to do. I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. I'm going to ask you to consider liking and subscribing this video. I'm not going to force you to like and subscribe, but I want you guys to consider liking and subscribing. I want you to comment below what is your favorite training aid, and then I would like you to go to the link in the description to the giveaway website and fill that out. I can tell you that this is only for US residents only. Sorry, Canada and the UK or Australia, anywhere outside the United States. Unfortunately, it's just easier for me to send to the United States. Hopefully that will change if I get any sponsorships, but right now this is what I got. I just want to say thank you once again and good luck on that giveaway. So let's get back to the Planemate. So I got my DIY Planemate here. I'm gonna put this off to the side and show you how to put this on. You just wanna make sure this carabiner's on the bar before you put it on, but it's super easy to put on. All I'm gonna do is take one of the clips that we put on it, I'm gonna put it on my back belt loop, and then I'm gonna put this clip on my front belt loop, and now the bar is on and it's ready to slide. And then all I have to do is put this on here like this, and then I put this on my club. I'm gonna start off with a wedge. They recommend the wedge be about halfway up, so that's what I'm gonna do. And it's really that easy. And so like this is down, and then the clip is on the side. And I'm just gonna adjust this so I have a little bit of tension at the bottom of my swing, or at address. So I think that's enough tension. Whoa, that feels weird. Okay, so I'm just gonna do some pitch shots. I'm gonna kind of tell you what I feel. I feel like everything's working well. Like look at it's going along that bar just like the real Planemate would. And so I like that about this DIY. I think it's a good amount of tension. I don't think this big clip is really bothersome. It kind of makes my club a little bit heavier, but I'm not really worried about that. Let's kind of do one shot here. I'm just gonna do like a little halvesy pitch shot. And all I'm trying to focus on is try to keep that tension. And then when I do my follow through, it should feel open, not like this. And I have a tendency to flip like everybody does. And so I'm gonna feel like this is gonna stay open. I don't know if I like this at the moment, but let's see what it does. That was very thin. It looks like I'm kind of on plane. Let's try again. A little bit more tempo here. That was a straight shank. I don't know, guys. Like, that was only my second shot, of course. It feels very strange. I feel like I have a lot of tension in my body too, which like, if you do any type of YouTube golf, they're like, let's get the tension out of your body. Let's try this again. A little pitchy shot. That was a straight top. I don't know if I like it for pitching. This is my weak point right now is pitching though, so maybe I just need to do this more. That was a little better. Better feeling. Came out kind of low, still a little thin. One more here. That was a straight shank. I don't know. Let's try it with a 7-iron. Oh, let's try it with an 8-iron and see what that feels like. So for the longer clubs, you kind of want to, I kind of saw that you want to find the balance point of your club. Mine is about right here. And then put it on about that spot. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit more fuller shots with it. And this was super easy to put on. Like I'm extremely happy with how this turned out. I'm not extremely happy that I'm putting more holes in my wall because I'm shanking them with this on, but we'll see. Do you know what I'm gonna do too? Maybe I'm toe shanking it. I'm gonna put on these impact stickers that are Dymo, not Dynamo, like I was saying earlier. A viewer was telling me that I was saying I'm wrong, and I definitely was, and that was a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna put this on here. If you want to see this, go ahead and check out my previous video, 5 things you should DIY instead of buy. I think I need to loosen this up just a little bit. Shouldn't be that much tension. Okay, so I'm going to be shanking them. And I mean, that looks kind of on plane. Be a little bit looser. It just seems super tight at the bottom, so I'm just loosening it up. This is the one thing that the real one you want to have issues with. They just tell you which one to use. Okay. Nice, easy swing. That felt good. Pretty, I mean, I'm usually a tower, so having it a little bit closer to the hosel isn't like a horrible thing. There's borderline shank on that one. I mean, I don't love it, is the problem. I don't feel like it's changing anything drastically. That was a thin, didn't even show up on my club, it was so thin. Yeah, I don't really know, guys. Maybe taking it off will show me something. That one I felt like I flipped. And like I felt, so that was a nice feeling knowing that I flipped. It's a weird contraption, you guys. And it might be the reason why it's not on their website anymore, because, I don't know, I watched a lot of YouTubers do this. I watched Club Champion, what used to be TXG, and then on Mr. Short Game, kind of review this. And, oh, there my microphone came down. They kind of reviewed this, and I don't really know. I mean, they both really liked it. I am not convinced that I like it. That was like almost 5 years ago, so. That was a really good strike. Very heely, even more heely than before though, which I don't know if it's a horrible thing. Like I said, I'm more of a toe-y player. It's really hard to have tempo with this because it kind of just wants to bring you down as hard as possible. And so let's try this again. One more time, and then I'm going to take it off and kind of see if it's done anything. That was better. Again, very heely, very consistent heel. I'm going to take this off. Unfortunately, I can't test out any longer clubs, so it's just the 7 and my wedge. Again, super easy to take off. Boom. Back one, I can't see, so it's a little bit harder. Boom, off. Okay, let's try this out. I'm going to try the 7 first since I got the 7 in my hand, or my 8. Is this my 8? Oh, it's actually a 9, you guys. My bad. So it's a 9 iron. Let's try this 9 without it. Maybe it will change my mind. My hands feel very light, and I'm just going to try to feel those same feelings. Okay. See, back to toe. Interesting. I'm back to toe without the Planemate. So it definitely was doing something. Another toe, right where my other toe was. That was a little fat. One more time here. You know, after taking it off, I don't feel like it's done a lot, but I also don't think it hurt anything. Okay, that one hit really well. I mean, that one felt really good, but I don't know if it was the Planemate. I'm gonna go to the wedge. I didn't hit the wedge good once, so. But that one was really good. That one was really good too. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Would I recommend making it? I mean, yeah, to try it out. I don't really like it though. And like I said, I made this for you guys. It wouldn't be my top 10 in my top 10 whatsoever. It'd probably be in the bottom. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Maybe that's why it's not on their website anymore. All right, so DIY Planemate. I think I replicate it to the best of my abilities. I don't think the actual one is going to be any better, maybe quality-wise with the belt. It works and functions the same though. And I personally did not like it. Would I recommend you guys making one? If you want to try out the Planemate, go ahead and make this one. It's at most 30 bucks. I think the clips that I bought off of Amazon was the most expensive part. I think they were like $12. The rest of this stuff added all together is probably like $15 plus tax, depending on where you are. It's gonna be about $30 versus the ones I found on eBay, $150, $200, almost $300 on some of them. Try this first. If you like it, maybe try the Planemate. If you want me to try and purchase the Planemate, like I said earlier, I need some funds to do so. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a subscribe. Like the video, that helped this video get more views, which gives me more money, honestly. And then if you want to help a little bit more, go ahead and join the memberships. The memberships, there's 3 tiers. Go ahead and check those tiers out. If you can't do memberships, can't afford another monthly payment, which I totally understand, but you still want to help out, there's also that super thanks button down below. It's a one-time thank you, and I would highly appreciate it. No obligation on any of that. Just watch the videos. I'm gonna keep on coming back with content. Those things just help me out to have a little bit better content quicker. And until next time, make your golf your project.